On her wedding day, Alice wore a tiara, which would be followed by a trail of tragedies in the future. Many say that the Hesse Strawberry Leaf Tiara is cursed, and whether you believe in superstition or the supernatural, the tiara's story definitely doesn't sound like a happily ever after tale. 30 April 1861, the daughter of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert became engaged to Ludwig IV of Hesse. The father of the newly married bride ordered from the jewelers of the firm Garward diamond tiara, an elegant piece of jewelry with strawberry leaves. Alice was the third child of Victoria and Albert. The mother herself selected candidates for husbands for the princess, but the final choice was for Alice. The wedding with Ludwig was to take place in July 1862, but in December 1861 Albert died. He was 42 years old. Victoria and the children were hard to survive this tragedy, but the marriage was not postponed. On 1 July 1962, a modest ceremony took place, which the Queen herself described as a wedding that was more like a funeral, and the saddest day I can remember. Victoria took the death of her beloved husband so hard that Alice tried not to show her joy so as not to anger her mother by looking too happy. The Hesse Strawberry Leaf Tiara is often referred to as a ghostly tiara because almost every wearer of it has encountered bad luck and misfortune. Alice wore this piece of jewelry quite often for the next 17 years. The first tragedy in her family occurred when Alice's son Alice died of hemophilia in 1873. He was only 2.5 years old. In November 1878, a diphtheria epidemic broke out in Darmstadt. On 16 November, the 4-year-old daughter of Alice and Ludwig died. And on 14 December, at the age of 35, Alice herself died, and her last words were the phrase, "Dear Papa." Albert also passed away on 14 December. Alice's two daughters, Grand Duchess Elizabeth Fyodorovna and Empress Alexandra Fyodorovna, died in the 1918 revolution. The Hesse Strawberry Leaf Tiara was inherited by Alice's eldest son Ernst, who passed the jewelry to his wife Victoria Melita. Their daughter died of typhoid fever at the age of 8, and they also had a stillborn son. After Queen Victoria's death, Ernst dissolved the marriage and married a second time. The chosen one was Princess Eleanor of Solm. 2 sons were born to this marriage. The eldest married Princess Cecilia of Greece and Denmark, sister of the late Prince Philip. The strawberry leaf tiara passed to Cecilia of Greece. She wore the jewel very often, and it was worn at the coronation of George VI in May 1937. And in November 1937, another tragedy occurred. The Princess of Solma, her eldest son with his wife Cecilia, their 2 sons died in a plane crash. They were flying to London for the wedding to the Prince of Hesse. Princess Cecilia of Greece was pregnant at the time and gave birth to a child during the flight. After the crash, the body of the newborn was found among the remains. Remarkably, the tiara was on board the aircraft. It was in a safe and was not damaged in any way during the crash. Prince Louis' wedding took place after the devastating disaster, but he died childless in 1968, ending the hereditary male line of the Hesse and Rhine family. But since then, the Hessian tiara has not been worn by anyone. The tiara now belongs to the foundation of the House of Hesse, which manages the royal family's heritage of art, castles, and jewelry. Whether the tiara was actually the cause of all these misfortunes or just a tragic coincidence, it is likely that due to its bad reputation, the jewelry will remain a museum piece. Thank you for watching this video. Share your impressions in the comments and support our channel by subscribing and liking.